What is going on, YouTube? This is Charlie Clutch, aka Cryo, coming at you. I want to talk to you guys about a few things, the name change, the little break I took, switching to Xbox, my experience with it so far, and finally I'll end with Ghosts. So, real quick, the name change. I could not get Cryo. I was coming off a PlayStation. I could not get Cryo in any way to look decent. I don't like having numbers in my name. I didn't even love having the I and the dash after Cryo, but I dealt with it, and I couldn't get a decent one to look right. So my roommate came in and he was just like, "Why not just be Charlie Clutch?" And it was that simple. It was just he gave me the name and I took it. The little break I took. I never intended to fully get into YouTube starting on PlayStation. Black Ops and PS3, that was to teach me how to use my software, kind of get set up, know what I was doing, so that when I came to Xbox, I could just jump right into it and I wouldn't have to learn some of these things. And obviously I have some things I can learn and get better at, but it served its purpose. I was so sick and tired of Black Ops. I was not having fun with it. I put a few GTA videos just, messing around for the fun of it, but for the most part, that's what was my delay on putting out videos for the past 3 weeks or whenever the last one I put out was. But I now know what I'm doing. I'm enjoying Ghosts, as I'll talk about in a little bit, and the recording issues I've had for the past week or so. We couldn't get my audio down. I don't know what I did. I don't even know how I got it to work, but now it's capturing audio. Those are resolved, so I will be putting out videos on a regular basis from here on out. So I'm going to talk about Xbox for a little bit. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I was a PlayStation gamer through and through till this generation. And I'm not a PS fanboy, I'm not an Xbox fanboy, I'm not a fanboy, period. But I do want to talk about some of the things that I like about the Xbox. I want to talk about some of the things I don't like. Some of them weighed into why I switched, and some of them make me happy I switched. For all my PlayStation buddies out there, I am not in no way telling you that your console's inferior, because in many ways it's superior. I'm just telling you what I like about my system, and we're just going to leave it at that. This is not a review or a debate or anything of that nature. But I will start with the bad. Launch titles, they were kind of lackluster. I have Ghosts and I have Ryse. I'll get on Ghosts here in a little bit, but Ryse, it's not really bad necessarily. The combat's very smooth. It's a very pretty game, decent story, but it's not a blockbuster. It's not something that's going to sell a console. And if I wasn't such a Roman history nerd, I don't know if I would have impulsively bought a game that I knew nothing else about other than it was Roman history. I just love Roman history, so got me to get it, and I don't regret it so much, but I probably won't put videos out of it. It's probably something I'm just going to play like once or twice a week here and there, just kind of casually. The controllers. I'll talk about why I like the actual controllers, but the fact that they need batteries to me it's kind of embarrassing at this stage. They have all this technology that they've been bragging about in both of these generation of consoles, and it's still running on AA batteries. And I know you can get those rechargeable packs, but those cost extra. I'm not sitting here swimming in cash, and so it's just kind of a pain to have to switch out AA batteries. I'll probably invest in some rechargeable AA batteries here soon, so I don't have to shell out the money for the rechargeable pack, but I can just keep switching out and not have to buy batteries. For those of you who don't know and are annoyed by this, you can hook up a micro USB, so most cell phones use these now, and it can plug into your Xbox, and if you haven't noticed, there's a little USB port on the left side of it, so you don't have to go the whole way to the back. It's just kind of annoying that you do have to be wired if you're going to use it, but if you run out of batteries, there's your workaround. Easily my least favorite thing about the Xbox: the lack of third-party headset support. It makes recruiting for VG, who doesn't have a lot of Xbox members as is, it makes it so difficult because people are forced to either not use a headset at all, use the little terrible cheap one they give you that is just so uncomfortable, the sound quality is terrible, blah blah blah. And what we've been doing is using TeamSpeak, but I also recognize that not everybody is like me and Sav and games next to their computer or has a laptop at their disposal to bring over. That's our workaround while they work the bugs out and actually get this attachment into our controller so we can use them. But it is by far the worst thing that I've experienced on the Xbox so far. You should note I cannot speak for any of these apps that are out there. I do everything from my computer except for play certain console games like Call of Duty, and in the future I'll play like Titanfall and games of that nature from my Xbox. I did not buy this to be a one, you know how they were trying to sell this as a one and all system where it can play your movies, social media, blah blah blah, everything. I just wanted it for the gaming. If they may work well, they may not. I have no personal attachment to those. I'm just gonna drop it at that. So, what about the good? Ironically, I dislike one part of the controller. I love the rest of it, though. I have pretty small hands, and it fits very, very comfortably. I was actually always one of the weird kids who was partial to the PlayStation controller. That 360 controller was just, I don't know, I just did not like it, but the subtle changes they've made, the directional pad having independent directions now, the button, the A, B, X, Y, those being a little bit bigger now, it's just very comfortable to hold. And like I said, I have small hands, so if you have bigger hands, maybe it'll be less comfortable. I can only speak for myself. The Kinect. If you guys have watched Sav's review, he'll tell you about horror story after horror story about how he doesn't like this thing as far as like the voice commands and whatnot. I love mine. Mine works absolutely perfectly. It didn't initially. I had to go back. When I did the voice recording, so it would pick up my voice. I had it so it was gonna catch my voice too high, like I had to yell at my Xbox. Now I went in, I readjusted. It works fine now. I've actually, and this is not a necessity, it's just kind of cool that it'll do it. I have sat down at my desk, gotten all the way to Ghosts Online without turning my screen on, because I can, voice command the Xbox to turn on. I can sit here and it'll sign me in, and then I can tell the system to actually start playing the disc. And my roommate and we actually look relatively similar, both around 6 foot, short brown hair. Neither of us are fat by any means. So we look somewhat similar, at least in my opinion. And the Xbox will not sign in for him. It will only sign in for me unless I set him up an account as well. But it won't confuse the two of us. And the last thing about the Kinect that I've heard people say is the whole watching me thing. I just wanted to throw this into this video. That argument bugs me so much, just because people love that they'll have GPSs on their phone. They like that their phone will face recognize. You'll sit in front of your laptop with a camera on it the entire time you're on it, or your desktop with your USB webcam, and nobody thinks about that at all. Nobody cares about that. So I thought that was just people who didn't like the Xbox. That was your argument against. That was their argument against it. Sorry, I never didn't. That bothered me to hear that one. I never really vocalized it until now, but that did bother me. Yeah, so I love the Kinect. I actually probably will never play a game with it, but I like it for the functionality, the convenience of it. And because of the convenience, I won't be one of the people that tries to get rid of it. It's fun. It really is fun just to turn it on without touching it. I just think it's cool. Anyways, on to the interface of the Xbox. Despite playing PlayStation all my life, and I don't have bad experiences with PlayStation necessarily, but I always thought that their cross-media bar, their home menu, was just very, very boring. A straight line, and then they all drop down. I mean, it's not ugly, it's just boring. And I always found that the Xbox interface, the home menu, looked so much more attractive. That has that nice, sleek, sharp Windows 8 layout. And it works very practically, too, so it's not like it's all glitz and no functionality. It's pretty, and it works well. Then I want to go on to the future exclusives. when I decided to switch to Xbox, I had sat down and I looked at a list of all current, or well, all launch and then known future releases that were exclusive. Now, I have a PC that will play pretty much anything I want on the highest settings, and it will not skip a beat. So, like, the whole PlayStation being the whole indie gaming thing, that was not important to me because my PlayStation or my PC will be able to do that, and I firmly believe that PC will always drive that community forward, at least for the foreseeable future. So that ruled out a ton of things that I just didn't even need to consider. So I started looking at the big names. PlayStation, the big ones are Killzone, Infamous, that other game, 1886, The Order, 1886. Those didn't really personally attract me. I recognize that they can be good games, and I'm not trying to knock them. I own Killzone. I played it for 3 days, and I don't mean 3 in-game days. I mean 3 days. I bought it like a Friday, never picked it up after the Sunday. Infamous, I beat half of the first one. I recognize it's a great game. I personally don't love it. Just wasn't my thing. So I started looking at the Xbox ones. This game coming out, Quantum Break, really looks intriguing to me. I've never been able to own a Halo because I've never played Xbox. And Titanfall. And I know I just got done saying I can play Titanfall on PC, but my first person multiplayer shooters, I prefer those to be on console. I want my RPGs on my PC when possible, and I want my multiplayer 6v6 shooters, I like those on my console. And so despite having a computer that would be able to play it, it was a plus for me to be able to have it on the Xbox controller in my hand. And then this, probably my favorite thing of the Xbox. I don't know if PlayStation has this, I'm just talking about Xbox because it's my experience. They have this app on your phone, Smart Glass, and it can basically work that you can just access everything off your Xbox, not the games obviously, but like the interface, so you can like message people off of your phone. So while these headset issues making recruitment difficult, the Smart Glass is in a way making it easier. I've been at work sitting at my desk on break and checked my phone and replied to somebody who was interested in joining VG from my phone. Xbox, it was not on when I was at work by any means, so it's just something really cool, very convenient, and it beats punching in the text with your controller. And then the last thing that really got me to go to Xbox, and you can make an argument against this because nothing's actually happened yet, I can't refute it. This was just my planning out of what I wanted to buy. Microsoft has always offered a higher quality online service. I was never really satisfied with PlayStation's. To me, at least on my ends, I can speak. Things were always laggy, they were buggy, and it's because it was free. That's why I got it. That was another reason I got a PS3 is it was free. And I know now they're charging for PlayStation. You have to have PlayStation Plus, but my education and my training and like my personal life has taught me, as far as human behavior goes, that the biggest predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And so when it all boiled down to it, I could go with Microsoft, who consistently had a high online service quality, or Sony, who might. Now, I sincerely hope Sony does. I sincerely hope Sony goes through the roof on everything. I have a lot of PlayStation friends, and I want them to enjoy every moment of their gaming. But because of that, it was just another little thing that got me to switch. And they all kind of compiled together, and as a result, I'm now on Xbox. So I'm done droning on and on about Xbox now. I want to talk just about Ghosts, and everything I say is about Ghosts on Xbox. I didn't buy it for PlayStation before, so I only have this one reference point. But to me, it's a very pretty game. The lag is almost non-existent. Similar to how Sav said, I've experienced like maybe 2 games where the lag was pretty bad, and I had a game drop once, but that's over like the course of a week, maybe a little more now. And so that's pretty good track record in my opinion, especially coming off a PlayStation where you lag out once or twice a day, and with Black Ops every single lobby was laggy because of the lag comp. Your shots are spot on because there's no lag or lag comp. So just really, other than Black Ops, I am having a much better time on it. I love the addition of search and rescue. I think it adds a really cool element that makes search and destroy just like you can go from losing to winning just by a couple big moves, and it's not just killing the enemy team necessarily. But I hate Blitz. I really hate it, mainly because it replaced CTF, which was, in my opinion, the best team-based game in Call of Duty. You need everybody fulfilling their individual roles. It's not just like Kill Confirm where everybody goes for a tag. And I thought just, there's if you have any competitive experience, you know that there's 3 roles with CTF, and that's just sad to me that that's gone. Now I hope they bring it back in the future. And I don't like that Blitz you can just score by just sliding into the little portal base thing. It makes defense super campy. Like, you have to have an eye on it at all times or people are going to just score easily. And if you don't have people on defense playing really campy, then you're going to lose automatically. So I'm not a huge fan of Blitz. Maybe in a 4v4 competitive situation, maybe it'd be better. I haven't experienced that yet. I'm just talking pubs right now. Anyways, I heard a lot of people complaining about some of the maps. They're too big, then blah, 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 blah. I don't think they're that bad. They're much more dynamic than Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 generally translated to a left lane, a mid lane, and a right lane. These are, there's a lot more going on with some of them. Some of them, like Sovereign, I think there's a little too much going on. But generally, I don't think they're too bad. Worst map, I will say, is Free Fall. I really want to uninstall that just so I never have to play that again. But that's me kind of digressing a bit. Just very briefly on the class setup, I love that you can make any class. Like the perk system now, you can make a completely silent class. You can make an objective class. So if you're sitting on a flag, you can have tac mask and flak jacket or whatever they're called now. I don't remember what they're called. But you can build your class as necessary and gives you more flexibility to adjust to situations. Like, dying by grenades isn't as big in Kill Confirmed or Team Deathmatch as it is in, say, Domination. I like that the flexibility is much more there than it has been before. There's just a ton of perks. I also really like that the kill streaks are not as dominating as they used to be. This is, and I'm not bad at this game. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm, God's gift to Call of Duty. But I've never run the high score streaks. I've always stopped around the 7 to 9 range. I just don't enjoy going for the big ones. I get mad when I don't get them, so I just stopped going for them. And I like that this puts more power into the actual gun. You can do much more with a gun than you can, trying to camp and get these score streaks when you can, the gun is more powerful than half of the score streaks anyways. Which I personally like, coming from a competitive background where we didn't even play with score streaks. That's a big plus in my personal opinion. And I've sat here and I said everything I like about it. I'm not going to tell you the spawns are good. They're really, really bad. I actually seldomly spawn when somebody just kills me instantly, but it always happens where I'll kill somebody or, a teammate will kill somebody and they'll spawn right behind me. That drives me mad because, typically when something like that happens, if the spawn's flipping, you're probably beating them pretty badly, at least at the moment. So, like, I'm getting ready to streak, and then I lose it because the game puts a guy right behind me, and I had no way to predict it. So stupid. On the plus side, they can fix that, and hopefully they will eventually. And that, to me, that's the biggest flaw, because, like I said, everything's sharp. The maps are relatively creative compared to some past titles. I like the gun selection, the perk selection. This is just the biggest weakness in my mind. other than no CTF, which personally for me I think are on par for being equally terrible. But just to sum up real quick, I know this is a long video, I apologize for that. I'm absolutely in love with my Xbox One. I like it more than I did when I got my PS3 for the first time. And Sav mentioned on and on about the vents. There's so many of them, it doesn't overheat. Big plus. I'm hoping I only ever have to buy one of these. But yes, I can't wait for future releases, fix some of the services, the headset issue, some other things that people are waiting to come up, like in the app department. I suppose probably not everything's working perfectly there. And I also look forward to continuing to play and make Ghost videos. If you want to play, please feel free to shoot me a message over Xbox. All my friends are on PlayStation, so I only have like 20 people right now. The Xbox Live gamer tag is just simply Charlie Clutch. There's a space in there. And anybody watching this, you are more than welcome to join VG. The link is down in the description. Please make yourself feel welcome, register, and we can game all the time. And until next time, YouTube, Charlie Clutch out.